CJ Flyer back with a fire, another YouTube video. In today's video, we have some breaking news with an NBA 2K24 update. There is a new update to the in-season tournament, that being the courts have been added. So we'll go ahead right now, jump into a new MyNBA mode here, going into the modern era, of course. If you didn't see my other in-season tournament video, that shows you how you can access the in-season tournament in MyNBA. Also be sure to read the comment section on that, as some people have been messing around with some of the customization settings and finding out that that will actually disable the in-season tournament. So just be wary of that. But anyways, we'll just go right ahead, jump right in, turn off autosave here. You can see in-season tournament, enable, disable. We want it enabled right now. And we're going to select all teams just to take a look, see which ones have the courts added, which do not. And just go right through it. So first off, the 76ers, we'll just simulate. You see the icon in the top right hand corner on November 4th, or not 4th, November 14th right there is against the Indiana Pacers. That does mean it is an in-season tournament game. Now, of course, we got all these other teams with all these other games going on. We're just going to start right out the gate. We're going with the Sixers, so I don't care about any of these other teams. So we'll just go ahead and simulate the rest of those. Gonna simulate to that point in the season. Now, I was finding it a little bit glitchy at times as far as whether the courts would appear or not. I've seen online that people were saying you have to go into edit uniforms. You have to change it to a city uniform. I'm not sure you necessarily have to do that. So, like, for example, if I just leave it as the association jersey versus, I believe the Pacers are rocking their icon jerseys. Yes, indeed. So then we'll go ahead, start the game, go right into it, and there you go. See, you don't have to put the city jersey on in MyNBA as long as it's marked as an in-season tournament game. You should still get the court no matter what. So there you go. So that's what the Sixers one looks like here. We can't access the replay yet. Let's go ahead, skip through this, and there you go. That's what the court looks like. That bright, beautiful red. That's hopefully not going to blind you too much. It's not as bad as the Bulls, I'll give them that, but it's still just, man, I don't know. If you want my opinions on the courts in real life, I've made a video on my other channel, the NBA channel, so to speak. So go ahead and check that out. I'll link it in the description and in the comments. But yeah, this is what the Sixers court looks like. So there you go. Let's go ahead and quit out of this, and we'll go check out some of these other courts. All right, tuning in now to the Milwaukee Bucks game. Here in Milwaukee, you can see the in-season tournament court there, looking pretty nice with the, I guess you could call it the cream color. It's not quite a cream white, but it's more of a beige, if you will. With the green strip down the middle and with the Milwaukee, Wisconsin logo front and center. So there you go. This is what this court looks like. We'll skip the intro right here, get right into the game. Go ahead, tip it off. Come on, Brook Lopez. Let's get this. Nope. Okay. There you go. That's what the court looks like. This one is definitely more pleasing to the eye, if you will. Now, as far as, you know, if you don't prefer these courts, like let's say, for example, the Chicago Bulls or the Miami Heat or the Philadelphia court, you know, they kind of make you go blind because of how bright and red they are. You know, if that's not to your preference, I'm not sure you can turn these off. Now, you can disable the in-season tournament entirely from your MyNBA mode, so that in fact should turn the courts off. But if you want to play the tournament without the custom courts, I'm not really sure you can make a change to that. I think you're kind of stuck with them. Okay, up next we got the Chicago Bulls in a game versus the Orlando Magic. Again, that bright, beautiful red front and center. There you go. There it is. A little bit of a darker red down the middle, but this is what the Chicago Bulls court looks like. And if you want, go ahead and pause at any moment just to, you know, see the court in its entirety if you just want a good vision of what it actually is. Okay, one of my favorite in-season tournament courts, the Cleveland Cavaliers. I just like the combination of the land logo, the slogan in the middle, along with this color combo. It's easy on the eye, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you, Cleveland. Next one is the Boston Celtics with that dark green. I'm liking this one too. Again, it's easier on the eye, of course, and it's looking pretty good in-game. All right, for this one, I did have to edit the uniforms, actually. So what happened was The Clippers had their statement uniforms on, you know, the one with the GTA San Andreas font down the front that says Los Angeles. And when I went to start the game, it actually used the custom court for the statement edition uniform as opposed to using the in-season tournament court. So if you did want to override that, that's what you would do. You know, the team, you would go ahead and wear a jersey that has its own specific court. Otherwise, it should pop up with the in-season tournament court like we are here right now for the Los Angeles Clippers. Next one is the Memphis Grizzlies, the pretty bland court. It's light gray and dark gray. That's all you got going on, but hey, at least it's not bright and blinding you. Next one, the Atlanta Hawks with that baby blue here, sky blue, whatever you want to call it. It's a lighter blue. Nice looking court, I would say, as far as the colors go. Not exactly fitting with the color scheme, but that's what you got going on here for the Atlanta Hawks. Okay, another bright red court. We have the Miami Heat with the red on the outside and the gray stripe down the middle. This is their in-season tournament court. It's also in the game. Here's the Charlotte Hornets court. We've got a little bit of a dark blue, teal, you know, whatever color you want to call it, blue-green, with what the Hornets got going on there with their color scheme. So this is their court, a little bit on the darker side, but with that brighter stripe down the middle. Now again, I went ahead and clicked on this Utah Jazz game, and right off the bat you see it's defaulted to what appears to be the City Edition uniform. So we'll go ahead, jump into the game, and see if the court defaults to the City court or to the in-season tournament court when we log in. Now, I actually don't recall if the Jazz have a City court, so if they don't, oh, they do. See, like I said, if you're wearing a city or statement uniform for a given team and they have a court associated with that, it is going to override the in-season tournament court for the in-season tournament game. So because we were wearing the Utah Jazz's City Edition uniform with that purple, you can see now they're using the purple court here that goes with that jersey. So if we quit out of this, we go back to that same game with the Utah Jazz, and we go ahead and change the uniform here. Change it to, I don't know, let's just go to the association, or we can go to the icon jersey just to keep the colors from clashing there. Go ahead, start the game, and it should now be the in-season tournament court. Yep, exactly. Here we go. Now they're using the in-season tournament court as opposed to the city court. Now in real life, I'm pretty sure that these teams are wearing their City Edition uniforms with the in-season tournament courts. So, you know, if there was a jersey, or not jersey, but if there was a court selection option before starting these games, that would be pretty convenient. I'm guessing that 2K is probably not going to add that feature. It is what it is. At least they added these courts just in general, you know. But yeah, this is what the Utah Jazz's in-season tournament court looks like, with the light purple on the outside and the dark purple stripe down the middle. Next team on the list is none other than the Sacramento Kings, going again with that combination that kind of pairs up with their city uniform. Again, just got to be careful. You know, teams that have a City Edition court that pairs with their city uniform, you will have that court instead of the in-season tournament court, so you just have to be careful. Unfortunately, that's just the way it is, because ideally, we'd be wearing those blue and white Kings uniforms with this in-season tournament court, but that may or may not be possible if they already have another court that goes with their City Edition uniforms outside of the tournament. Up next is the New York Knicks. Here they are. They have defaulted to their City Edition uniform for this game. So let's just see if they have a City Edition court that goes with that uniform. And again, it's just going to test our theory whether or not it'll show. Yep, see, exactly. This is not the in-season tournament court. This is indeed going to be a City Edition court that goes with their city uniforms outside of the in-season tournament. So what we're going to have to do once again to get that in-season tournament court is quit the game, go back out, and we're going to have to change to a uniform that is not the City Edition uniform. And again, that's not how it is in real life. There's no way to change it as far as I am aware to be able to get the pairing to fit up right. That's on 2K. We need to add a setting or something to choose what type of court we want for the game. The override should not apply to in-season tournament games. Hopefully that can be something they include in a future patch for those of us that care. about the extra realism in the franchise mode. But anyways, that being said, this is the New York Knicks in-season tournament court. That bright orange with the blue strip down the middle. There you go. That's what it's looking like. A little bit too bright for my liking, but again, I'm just on that, I guess, old man rant, if you will, with all the bright colors I gotta look at while I'm playing this game. There's Bradley Beal sitting with a clone of himself, it looks like. Also Bradley Beal looking together at a laptop screen. It has nothing to do with this video. Just thought that was an interesting little tidbit to show. All right, let's go ahead, skip through all of this. Oh, interesting. The Lakers, I'm not seeing the court. I know it's in the game. I saw it earlier, actually, before I started recording for this video. But, I mean, the Lakers do have... Oh, well, see, there's my mistake. I confused the logos. So, again, in the top right corner of the given date, that logo right there with the TV and the NBA logo in the center, that means it's a nationally televised game. It's this trophy logo in the top right corner on November 14th. That represents the in-season tournament. So we have to actually simulate to that game in order to be able to play with the court and the in-season tournament logo. Okay, finally, here we go. This is the Lakers in-season tournament court. It's for the most part a bright yellow. Well, not a bright yellow. It's more like that Lakers gold that we're used to, the historic gold. Combined with the purple stripe down the center of the court. So that's what it looks like. Next up is the Orlando Magic, aka the Dallas Cowboys court. At least that's what it looks like to me. So that logo right there anyways, that just, I don't know why, it just reminds me of the Cowboys as opposed to the Orlando Magic. That's the first thing I think of, but here you go. This is what the court looks like. Got the gray court with the dark blue stripe down the center of it. Next up is the Dallas Mavericks with that blue outlined word mark in the middle right there that says Mavs, that curvy type of font. You know, it's a light gray on the outside, dark gray stripe down the middle, and once again, you can't really pair it with the City Edition uniform, otherwise you will get the City Edition court as opposed to the in-season tournament court, but nonetheless, this is what it looks like. Here you go. All right, the Brooklyn Nets, here we go. Again, it defaulted to a City Edition uniform, so we got to make sure to change that back because otherwise we will get a City Edition court. So let's go ahead, start up the game now that we got the uniform changed back, and we should be all good to go. We'll skip past the previews here, and yep, there it is, the in-season tournament court. Dark gray on the outside, light gray stripe on the inside. Just going with that Brooklyn Nets color scheme, which is, I mean, it's just black, white, and gray, right? So there you go. That's what this court looks like here. Next court, the defending champs, Denver Nuggets, with the dark blue on the outside and that bright yellow stripe down the center of the court. That's what we got going on. And, of course, the 5280 in the middle representing the Mile High City. Now again, doing this for those of you that have been skipping around the video to look at your team's specific court to see if it's in the game or not. We chose the Indiana Pacers City Edition uniforms, and instead of giving us the in-season tournament court for the in-season tournament game, we're given the City Edition specific court. So completely going off the rails here, and this court of course looks much different than the in-season tournament court. Much better too. I like this style a lot actually. But yeah, if we go ahead, quit the game, and we instead wear an away or a home uniform, just anything other than that City Edition uniform or anything else that's going to spark a specific type of court. So just wearing the association uniform is totally fine. Go ahead, we'll start the game, and now we should be able to see that in-season tournament court. And yep, there it is, the light blue. You can already see it. Let's go ahead and skip past all of the intro scenes. Skip past this little montage here, and there you go. There's the court. You got that light blue on the outside and the bright yellow stripe down the middle. So it is unfortunate, again, if it were to match real life, the Pacers would be wearing their City Edition uniform for this game. But if you put that on, you're going to get the City Edition court as opposed to the in-season tournament court. Again, something that 2K could probably fix in a quick patch so that there's not that override there, at least for the in-season tournament games. But, in a future edition of 2K, it would be nice if we could select the court as opposed to being given the court based on the specialized uniform. Okay, next court is the New Orleans Pelicans, that purple and green, which it's giving me Halloween vibes. Of course, I think it's supposed to represent Mardi Gras, being in New Orleans. But yeah, again, if you're going to wear those City Edition uniforms, like I've been saying for some of the other teams, it's going to give you a City Edition court. It's not going to give you the in-season tournament court. So unfortunately, you can't really wear the City Edition uniforms to pair with this court until 2K applies a patch to fix that. Next court is the Detroit Pistons. They have gray on the outside and a bright red stripe down the center. It's supposed to, again, match with their City Edition uniforms. I did not go ahead and test for this team to see if they have a City Edition court to match. But again, just be careful with any of these teams. But this is what the court looks like in-game. Once again, for this game, the 2K simulation is defaulted to the City Edition uniforms for this in-season tournament game. We'll see if this does, in fact, pull up an in-season tournament court, or if it's going to be a City Edition court that goes with the City Edition uniforms. And sure enough, it is a City Edition court, so we're going to have to back out here, quit the game, and go ahead and select either the association or the icon uniform for this. So let's go ahead, edit uniforms, use the left trigger to go over. We'll select the icon jersey for this one and go back, hit start game, and now we should in fact get an in-season tournament court. As it loads up here, watching Porzingis and Drew Holiday walk in, and there you go. It's the in-season tournament court instead of the City Jersey court, with the darker gray on the outside and the light gray stripe down the middle. Next up is the Houston Rockets. They do have a City Edition court, so be careful if you do plan to wear the City Edition uniform. It will load that court instead of the in-season tournament court, which, as you can see, is bright red on the outside and a blue stripe down the middle. Next one is the San Antonio Spurs. They have that darker green outside. I don't know what kind of shade of green you would call that, but it's a greenish color on the outside, and you got that yellow stripe down the middle. With the cool looking logo at center court, this is what it looks like in game. Alright, next one is the Phoenix Suns Wildberry Pop-Tart. This video is not sponsored by Pop-Tarts, but this court definitely looks like one. It's got that purple on the outside and that turquoise tealish type light blue down the center. This is what it looks like in game. Next team, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They got that lighter blue on the outside and the dark blue stripe down the middle with the orange OKC logo. This is what it looks like in 2K. Next team is the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now I know for a fact that if you put on their City Edition uniforms, they have a City Edition court that will override the in-season tournament court. Nonetheless, we are currently wearing the association uniforms, and the in-season tournament court's popping up. It's a light blue on the outside and a slightly darker blue on the inside with that stripe down the middle. This is what the court looks like in 2K. Another bright red court. The next team is the Portland Trailblazers. They have that really nice looking Rip City logo in the middle of the court. They also have the bright red on the outside with the tan, beige, whatever light brown strip you want to call it on the inside there on the court. So this is what it looks like in 2K with the new update. Next team is the Golden State Warriors. They have that kind of, I don't know what you call that brown on the outside, I guess, that garbage looking brown, dark, whatever. It's the brown on the outside, the yellow stripe down the middle. This is what it looks like in the game. Again, I do believe the Warriors have a City Edition uniform court to go with their uniform. So if you put that on, it's not going to show the in-season tournament court. It's going to show a different one, so just be wary of that. All right, the phrase last but not least does not apply here because the Wizards are one of the worst teams in the league right now. Our last team in this video, the Washington Wizards, this is their in-season tournament court. They do have City Edition uniforms. I'm not sure if they have a City Edition court. That's not something I tested out. But just for the sake of this video, just to show you the courts, this is what their City Edition, or not their City Edition, this is what their in-season tournament court looks like here. They got the gray on the outside and that teal on the inside stripe with that kind of teal, red, white Washington Wizards logo in the middle. So this is what you got going here to end the video. Let me know if this helped you out. Do you like this update? Do you not like the update? I appreciate that they are still putting some effort into this game after the release. Quite frankly, when 2K first released the game and there was nothing related to the in-season tournament at all, I was kind of concerned that they're just going to leave it out entirely and then have it as a big marketing promo for next year's game. However, it seems they have slowly but surely started to add it into the game piece by piece. Hopefully they add an update to where the City Edition uniform does not result in the City Edition court overriding the in-season tournament court for an in-season tournament game, but we'll just have to see. These kinds of things happen all the time, of course, as they're making these little patches in the middle of the game's release. So hopefully they get that squared away. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Like and subscribe for more NBA 2K24 videos, and I will see you all on the next one. Peace.